let's see about what is offensive penetration testing and what is a VAPT. So, what is the difference between ethical hacking or penetration testing? Okay, there is many differences on the ethical hacking or as an offensive penetration testing. So basically, in first hand we have our ethical hacking, and in the second hand we have the pen test. Okay, so if you can see here in our ethical hacking course, okay, as you already done the CEH, so basically whenever you are kickstart your career, okay, so every time you need to go through the ethical hacking first, okay, which is called your basic part. And if you go for the more advanced, it will be go through the penetration testing, okay, which is your advanced method. Now basically they're having some topics which is similarly same to the ethical hacking in our penetration testing, okay, but something will be having some differences, some basic things and some advanced things. For the ethical hacking you have to gain the certificate of CEH, which is certified ethical hacker. And for penetration testing you have to gain a certificate of OSCP, okay, which is offensive security penetration testing. Now CEH is a basic start, but if you have a certification in the OSCP, it will be great opportunity to getting a better job, or maybe if you are working currently in any cybersecurity organization, so it will be kicks you up to gaining the increment while you are pursuing the OSCP, which is your offensive security pen test. Okay, now we have a term which is called VAPT. Okay, what is VAPT? So VAPT basically called as a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Yeah, hello. Yeah, basically, yes, session is already recorded. Okay. Okay, yeah. So VAPT is called a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So what is vulnerability assessment and what is penetration testing? Basically both term are combined. Now let's say example of VAPT, vulnerability assessment and pen testing. So first of all, if you are finding any type of vulnerabilities, okay, such as we found a SSH port, okay, in SSH port we have to check what version are using in our SSH, if they're having any type of outdated version or any type of security issues on that version or not. Okay, if version we found the version is outdated and outdated version is vulnerable to attack, and the version is 5.0, let's say, okay, but if unfortunately you are not able to exploit the SSH port, okay, because if you don't know about programming languages, okay, so it is okay. Why? Because we found a version is outdated, as we see in our Android, okay, which like many people are using Windows and Android, so we having a many versions of our Android and Windows, such as Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and now we are using Windows 11. Okay, so whenever you are upgrading your operating system or upgrading your version, it comes to the uh, like they are giving the security updates to their operating system, okay, because the version is not outdated and attacker will not able to exploit it. Okay, another example, if you are able to exploit, okay, somehow you can able to exploit, for example, SMB port, okay, server message block. So if you found a version is outdated, okay, we'll see some labs as well so you can understand. Version outdated, which is 1.1.8, okay, and this exploit is available in Metasploit, okay, in Metasploit, and you are successfully exploit and gaining the access of the system, it means you have done vulnerability assessment as well as penetration testing. Why? Because vulnerability assessment, it comes to finding a vulnerability. You found a vulnerability which is outdated version 1.1.8, okay, and you are successfully exploit that particular protocol or particular version. It means it's a penetration testing. You are actually exploiting that particular vulnerability. Another example, in a web based, okay, you found a e-commerce website, okay, e-commerce website. Now hacking or ethical hacking, it is not only about gaining the system access. Okay, why people are confusing about that? Gaining unauthorized access is like an hacking. There is a no any type of like single activity we are done here, okay. It is called a malicious activity, okay. Malicious activity is also called a hacking perspective. Why? So as you can see in e-commerce, okay, for example, you are buying a t-shirt, you are buying a t-shirt, and one t-shirt cost is $100, okay, but somehow you found a vulnerability which is called parameter tampering. Okay, these vulnerabilities comes in our web application pen testing, okay. If you are doing after the advanced pen testing, for the web application pen testing, we having some checklist to finding a vulnerability in website. So $100 t-shirt was there, so using parameter tampering, you are change the value to $1, and if you successfully purchase, okay, if you successfully purchased, it means the integrity is like not properly implemented or violate the integrity, because the accurate value you can easily manipulate and change, okay, and API was not validating their values through the server side or client side, okay. So they're having a many examples of VAPT or ethical hacking. The first example of VA, which is vulnerability assessment, like you are finding a vulnerability. If you are finding a version is outdated, no issues, you can still report, okay. So as such, I have experience around 5 years in cybersecurity, and I'm also working in an organization, so I know how to create a report writing and what should we report in our report writings, okay. So outdated version, if you are finding the outdated versions, you can mark as a outdated versions, okay. If you are successfully able to exploit it, there is a no issues, you can provide a proof of concept of like you are finding these versions and this is the exploit we are done, and we can gain the access, okay. So if you are gaining the access, if you are doing any type of malicious activity and you are somehow able to exploit the vulnerabilities, it is called a penetration testing, okay. And if you are finding only vulnerabilities with the proof, okay, it is not like that you are doing automation scanning and automation scanner gives you yes this SSH is vulnerable, so it is not like that. You have to prove that the outdated version is vulnerable through the online exploitation development, okay, or you can say online exploitation database, not a development, online exploitation of a database. So online exploitation database is such as I say SSH 5.0 exploit, okay. So if you can see here, there are CVE was available here for exploitation hyphen DB, okay, or you can say the rapid 7 was also there, okay. So if you have a lower version of SSH, so they're having some many malicious activity was there, such as SSH user code execution, okay. It will be depends on that which version the exploitations was available, and somehow you can exploit using a metasploit, okay. So it can be able to gaining the access, but in many chances was there you cannot get exploit through the metasploit. You need to create your own payload, which is called a exploitation development, okay. But there is no issues if you don't know about programming languages and exploitation development, but you can know that version is vulnerable, okay. So you can easily report, as same as if I said jQuery 3.0 7.1. Okay, this is a version, but you can see there is a no direct vulnerabilities was available. Okay, it means the latest version was available. 3.7.1 is the latest version. Now let's see any lower version was available, such as you can see here, XSS injection cross-site scripting. Okay, so which version was vulnerable if you are going to the inject the XSS payload? Okay, so if you can see here, upgrade jQuery to version 1.9.1 or higher. Okay, so if your version is lower than 1.9.1, okay, so it means your jQuery must be manipulated and attacker can execute a XSS script. But this is not a single like mitigation to fix the XSS, because XSS having multiple mitigation we will talk about later. Okay, so this is how you can check whether the version is outdated with proof. Okay, if you don't have any type of proof, so you no need to report it. Okay, so in our VAPT we have to go through a method, okay, as you learn in CEH, which is our ethical hacking phases, as same as we have a VAPT phase. Okay, so each and every benchmark have their own pen test phases, such as OWASP, NIST. Okay, for example, I'll show you NIST, NIST phase. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, for the NIST, they're having only 4 stages, which is planning, discovery, which is information gathering, and attack or reporting. Okay, so this is a framework for the NIST. If you are go through the MITRE attack framework have different phases. Okay, so what should I use basically? What phase I use in my organization? So first of all, your scope. Okay, you have to decide your scope, like which is in scope, which is out of scope, related on your target, as well as related on your vulnerability as well. Okay, for example, if organization gives me a IP address for network pen test, right? Network pen test. Okay, because see, most of the time advanced penetration testing is nothing about a network or web application pen like web application pen test both. Okay, so IP address, they gives you the IP address, for example 192.168.1.1. okay, this is in your scope. And if you are testing 192.168.1.2, because somehow you can found using information gathering like 1.2 is connected with the 1.1, but you don't have to test 1.2 because it is out of scope. Okay, because your organization, your manager, your owner gives you only one URL or one IP address to test. Okay, as an example, they gives me the URL xyz.com. Okay, and they said only attack on this URL, so you don't have to scan subdomains, you don't have to test the subdomains, right? So you have to define your scope. Now what if we have a full security audit? So let's say star, which is a wildcard, xyz.com, comma 192.168.1 star, star, or maybe they give you the CIDR value, which is 1 to 2 to 225. Okay, so this means you have to test all connected IP addresses in this particular domain or particular IP. Okay, and if you are going through the this one starxyz.com, it means you have to test a subdomain as well. Okay, so whenever you are testing, okay, you need to check what is your scope and what is your out of scope, as same as depending in your vulnerabilities as well. If some organization told you please test this IP address, but do not perform DDoS attack, or do not gain any type of authorization or authentication, okay, you just need to test it, but you not able to gain any type of system access. Okay, this challenges will be gives you, which is out of scope. Okay, so you just need to do a VA or little bit of PT, but do not gain any type of access if you found a username or password. Okay, or do not do the DDoS or DOS attack. Okay, which is out of scope. Okay, so first of all you have to define your scope. For example, xyz.com is my scope. Now second, information gathering, which you can say footprinting, recognizance, and you can say discovery. Okay, footprinting, recon, discovery. Okay, so here you can gather all the information related to your domain or your IP addresses. Okay, if they gives you the web application target, so you can find what are the IP address was there, what are the protocols, not protocols, protocols will comes in the scanning part. So what are the IP addresses was connected, what is subdomain, which is dynamic URL. Okay, and if any sensitive files or sensitive informations or sensitive directory you can found, so all these are you can gain using the information gathering. Okay, so just like neglect the spelling mistake. Okay, I'm just typing, so just like ignore this spelling mistake. After that we can go with the scanning part. Okay, now in the scanning you got an IP address or you got a domain, you can scan the protocols. Okay, you can check the versions of protocols and you can try to exploit that particular protocols if the network pen tests are in scope, because sometimes in the web application you don't have to test the protocols or version and you do not have to exploit it. Okay, because they have a scope of that. If they gives you the scope, like you can do network scan as well, you can do network exploitation, application exploitation, so you have to do all these things. Then fourth one, yeah, yes, yes. Okay, okay. So basically today we are just doing. Hmm. Okay. So like, okay. Sure. Okay. So today we are doing the introduction of VAPT. Okay. So today basically we are learning about introduction of VAPT. Okay. So in our VAPT, like what we have to do and what are the things in the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay. So today's topic is our introduction of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay. Okay. So let's, yeah, okay, let's continue. So VAPT phase is scanning. After scanning we have a vulnerability scan or vulnerability assessment. Now in a vulnerability assessment we are doing a VA, which is our vulnerability assessment part. Okay, so in our VA we need to find some vulnerabilities such as outdated version if you have. Okay, or you can use some automation tools. Okay, but you have to do manual as well, because automation and manual will be comes in the same phase. And then you can go with the exploitation. Now exploitations is your depends in the penetration testing, which is comes in many manual pen test, which is more important than the automation pen test, because whenever you are finding any type of vulnerability during automation test, you have to test manually. You have to prove that that vulnerability is exist, because sometimes the vulnerability tools, vulnerability scanning tools, automation testing tools, they gives you the false positive or false negative. Sometimes they show vulnerability exists, but whenever you are doing manual test, you are not found any type of vulnerability. Sometimes they show vulnerability is not exist, but whenever you are doing the manually, the vulnerability is exist in that. Okay, so in some cases they will provide you the false positive or false negative. Okay, so you just need to do a manual pen test, which is many organizations rely on that, but automation pen test only used to get the information. Okay, automation pen testing tools we are using to get the information about the vulnerabilities and the parameters. Okay, after that you can go with the report writing. Okay, so here you have a proper detailed report, okay, of your penetration testing, VAPT, whatever VAPT you are doing. So what is the infrastructure you can test in our VAPT? Okay, yeah, hello. Yes, 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 OSCP certification. Yeah, basically, yeah, it's better OSCP certifications as well. If you are like learning this course, you can get the like OSCP exam preparation as well. Okay, and you can get the many other like vulnerabilities as well and other advanced technique. Okay, so if you are doing this VAPT course, okay, so you can able to start preparation for the OSCP. Okay, so it is basically you can say similar to the OSCP. Okay. Okay. So in our infrastructure testing in VAPT, so in organization they have many infrastructures such as they have servers, they have system and network. Okay, so we have to test their server systems and network. Then they have maybe web application, organization have mobile application, organization have desktop application, they have API, cloud, and so on. Okay, so there are many infrastructure was available, and if you are a penetration tester, so I will suggest you to gain all the knowledge on most of the things on application based. Why application based? Because see, in nowadays each and everything are running in using a website or mobile application. Okay, so most of the business are going to be online. Okay, so network security is important when it comes in your organization or insider threats. Okay, and network pentest will also comes in which server and which system is hosted all this application. Now application security is most or more important than the networking nowadays, because if your mobile application or web application having a great business such as gaming platform, Amazon, Flipkart, and attacker are trying to exploit your web applications, mobile applications, or desktop applications, so you have going to be in a big loss. Okay, so that's why application security is also important. Okay, when it is comes in our VAPT. Okay, now let's take a look about report writing, how it is look like. So basically I have test one of my client, so it is a responsible disclosure, so I can show you how it will be look like. Okay, so if you can see here, this is our like my organization reporting for network vulnerability assessment and penetration testing report. Every organization have their different format, different strategy, different descriptions, mitigations, depends on penetration testers or your organization level. Now when it is comes to the organizations, you have to look that which level of organization you are working. Okay, this is also important. I have 5 years of experience in many organizations which is consultancy based, such as EY or Deloitte. Okay, so what consultancy will do, for example, we have one of client which is Tata. Okay, Tata is a client. So Tata give a assignment to EY and Deloitte for penetration testing. EY have their many penetration tester teams, Deloitte have their many penetration tester teams, and Tata is the reputed company and wants to secure their application. So they gives the application to EY or Deloitte, okay, and they gives the application to the penetration tester. So in a consultancy firm, maybe it will happens no work life balance many time. It will depends in which consultancy firm you are working that. Why no work life balance? Because consultancy firms may have many client. Okay, like most of the time they have 100 clients, 10 clients, 50 clients. They have a big team. Still, you have to test the 4 to 5 application or web application within a month, or within a 2 month, or within a 3 months, whatever duration you have. So many times you can work after 8 hours or 9 hours to complete your penetration testing. It also depend how much like test you are performing and how quick you can perform. Okay, so many times in consultancy based you have a lots of work and sometimes no work life balance. Lots of work is good, because if you having a lots of work, you can easily able to learn and upgrade your skills, and you have know what are the different platform was there. Because whenever you are testing any application, you are make your mindset better. Because if you are testing any vulnerability, you have to just think about that, what permutation and combination I can use, what test cases I can use to secure that particular application. Okay, because gaming application having completely different functional, CTRM, commodity trading and risk management, having different function than e-commerce having different function. So many clients, or you can say many organizations having different functions. So you can get a more work in consultancy firm. Then production based company. Now production based company only have one to two pen tester only, because they don't need a more penetration tester, because they have one to two product. Okay, and maybe here you have a work life balance, because they have a only one to two products, and you have to audit every 6 months. Okay, when they are having some additional functional, they add some new parameters, you have to test that. Okay, so having great work life balance, 6 month every time audit, you do not work continuously. And third one is service based. In service based, maybe they have consultancy, self product both. Okay, and maybe for this time having sometimes work life balance is good and sometimes not. Okay, depends on that. So it will be depend the different report as well, because consultancy firm have a different report. Production based have different report, because consultancy send the report to the data to the client. But in production based company, they are not sending a report to any client. The penetration tester are sending the report to the developer or your manager or your CEO or director. Okay, because they can review your report, and they can gives the order to developer to fix this issue. Okay, but in consultancy firm, they are sending the report to the client, and you have to face all these things. If having any type of issue, regardless to functionality or anything, you can just talk with the client. Okay, but in production firm, there is no issues, there is no client was there, because you are just testing your own product. Okay, so let's see. This is a external network vulnerability assessment penetration testing. I'll show you some sample report you can download, and whenever you have to times you can create a report writing as well. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, 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 and yeah. Yes, yes, yes. We'll learn after our whenever we go through the information gathering, we can do all that tools. Okay. Okay, because see, today's lecture is only about some introduction part, okay, and after we go to the second session, we go with the practical session, okay. Okay. So sample application purpose report. So here's a data art sample report, web application pen testing report. So this report having a different thing. So if you can see here the details of the document like project name, project resources, project duration, okay, some document history is here, and the index was available here, your like which page you have a particular summary and your vulnerability, so you have to make a content or some index, then some executive summary, confidential statements, and you can see here there are very different form of report than our cyberbugs, okay. So it will be depend organization to organization. Then if you can go down here, so this is the OS top 10, okay. So they are just need to like say that like OS top 10 benchmark they are using, and this vulnerability is discovered and this vulnerability is not discovered. Then you can go down here. So risk rating high, medium, low. Then this is the vulnerabilities they found like enumeration, registration email, persistence, cookie with sensitive information, sensitive cookie without secure flag, okay. So all these vulnerabilities they found. After that, if you can see here, all the vulnerabilities have description, POC, which is proof of concept, and mitigation, which is remediation, how to fix it, okay. So there are different report writing is available, okay. Now some testing types. Now whenever you are doing the pen testing, you have to check that what actual client wants, what actual organization want. So we have some testing types which is called black box testing, white box testing, and gray box testing, okay. So in black box testing, hacker don't know any information, don't have any information about target, and this is actually we have to do, okay, as a black hat or as a black box testing. So in the black box testing you only got xyz.com or any IP address, but you don't know what was the functionality of this domain, any admin username and password of this domain. Then you don't know about the source code of this domain, it means you don't know nothing, okay, you don't know. So you just need to find vulnerability by yourself, okay. You just need to check whether you can gaining the access of admin portal without credential. And somehow in the white hat penetration, white hat black testing or white hat pen testing, so white box pen testing, hacker knows everything, okay. So after you done the black box testing, then you can go with the white box testing, okay. Because whenever you got the admin portal you can try, whether you can gaining the access of admin portal through brute forcing attacks, SQL injection, command injection, anyhow, if still you didn't get any type of information or any type of vulnerabilities, then you need a credential. So company gives you the credentials, admin username and password. They can gives you KT, which is called a knowledge transfer about how our product will be work, which is called a functional. And they can also gives you the information about source code. So each and everything they will be provided. In the gray box testing, something you know and something you don't know, something you know and something don't know, right? So something you know, for example, you only know about the credential, but you don't know about any functional issues or any functional things in your website or any domain, or you don't know about the source code, you only know the credentials. Okay, so these are the three types of main testing we have in our penetration testing, which is black box testing, which is most important than white box testing and gray box testing. Okay, so for example, organization gives you the admin portal. Okay, and let's say the admin portal have user and password field. Okay, let's say as an example. Okay, so you can see here, this is the admin portal. Okay, and there is a no registration page, and organization will gives you this for the black box testing. So you have to done some test cases such as brute force attack, SQL injection, user enumeration, email address enumeration. So each and every black box you have to do. After that, if you didn't get any type of access from the admin portal, then you can go with the white box testing with the credential. Okay, because it is possible insider threat was also there who can do some malicious activity. Okay, if the external hacker cannot attack this, but somehow they got any type of credential on that, so the many hackers can malicious activity performing malicious activity on inner pages. Okay, so you have to fix the inner pages or functionality as well, so we need a credential. Okay, and in the gray box testing, in from the starting part, organization will only gives you the credentials, so you can just test it from the black box and gray box both. Okay, so this thing you need while you are testing a VAPT. Then let's talk about teams, or you can say cybersecurity teams. There are three teams was there, which is red teaming, blue team, and purple team. Okay, three teams was there. Let's see the difference between them. Okay, so in many organization they have all three teams. So red team is our part, which is attacking vector such as offensive security, ethical hacking, penetration testing, exploiting vulnerabilities, black box testing, social engineering, web application testing, or they're having application testing like mobile, thick client, all these things. So red teamer, which is our ethical hacker or a penetration tester who are attacking a real world attack to the system, which is the attacking vector. And from the attacking vector, they're having another vector which is called a blue team, which is a defense team, such as defensive security, infrastructure protection, damage control, operational security, threat hunting, digital forensics, who can secure from the red teaming. And the purple teaming is the most senior level who can improve the detection and defense both, and they can able to sharpen the skills of red teaming and blue teaming members. So basically there are a management team who can manage the red team and blue team both. Okay, so we are basically learning for the red teamings for ethical hacking or penetration testing. Okay, so that's it for the introduction of VAPT. Now I have two things. If you know the basic networking, so we can start a directly practical of like through the information gathering, and we can just go through our phases. Okay, if you know the basic like networking, such as what is bandwidth and some protocols, and like IP addresses, what is IP addresses, what is ISO, okay, and what is OSI reference model, so we can go with the practical one. Okay, okay, that's great. Okay, because net. Okay, and Linux basic command as well. Okay. Your system admin. So basically, you already have, like you already know how to control the Linux operating system, right? Okay, and you know the all the commands and all. Okay, that's great. Then so we can just continue with our practical session from the ethical hacking, or sorry, for our pen test phases or ethical hacking phases. Okay, so we do not wasting a time for our hands-on Linux and our basic networking part. Okay. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I understood. Okay, then let's start with the practical from our next sessions. Okay, so you have any doubt from today's session? Yeah, any doubt from today's session? Okay, okay. Okay, so I will send you the recorded session. Okay, on WhatsApp, and we'll continue our next session with the practical session. Okay.